Hi, I'm Larry Koblenz. This is part 2 of my video, Open Letter to Suwannee Correctional Institution. I wanted to do a follow-up video to clarify what all happened in that first video, because there was a lot of questions and people want to know what was it about, and I wanted to make it less theological than the first one was. There were some questions there about, it was a little too preachy, which I guess I can understand, but in any case, let me follow up to let everybody know what happened here. Again, this will be posted on YouTube, Facebook, and all that. I'm not going to say the name of the inmate. It's not relevant. It's not important who it was. Somebody I did know personally. I did dabble a little bit with other inmates later on, but again, that's not important either. So, in any case, when this gentleman was incarcerated there, and it was nothing to do with me. He was not incarcerated for any crimes related to me. When he was incarcerated there, he did tell me in some of the letters I received from him, he was having problems with his stuff being stolen. I took it upon myself, and again, I probably wrote the letter a little harsh. It was not threatening, it was not harassing, but nonetheless, it was a little harsh. And it was a little, well, if you know me, it was me. It was bossy. But in any case, I did write a letter to them in December 2013. They discarded that letter, but they did call the inmate into their office or property office. There's some sergeant in their property office that demanded to know who I was and who do I think I am, and he wrote me about this. I have letters. I kept everything. He was released in 2014. After that, okay, let me back up real quickly. When he wrote me letters about he was called to the office and what was this about, who does this gentleman think he is, calling and writing. I never called him, I wrote him. He wrote me back and said, they're harassing me here. So I knew, okay, all right, I'm going to have to back off, because here's the thing. I'm a civilian. They can't harass me, but they most certainly can harass him. So I backed off, and he was released in 2014. After his release, I made follow-up public records requests, and that's when I found out they discarded that letter. Again, that's a violation of Florida public records laws, of Florida Statute 119, subsection 27A. I learned that real quick. But in any case, so I made follow-up, and I sent them a copy of that letter, and they said, oh, well, we never got this. Well, okay, now fine, you have the letter now. Well, they've been sitting on this letter for 3 years. 3 years. And what happened? Where's the investigation? What's going on? I sent them letters. They ignore them, or they say request denied, or no records found, or that's what my issue was. They're not responding. They harassed him because I had the audacity to report letters, or his stuff was being stolen from him. Didn't do anything about it. They didn't care. They harassed him. And then after he was released and I realized, hey, now I can finally find out what's going on, total denial. Total denial. No, we don't know what you're talking about. Well, I have proof from the inmate that he was called to your office. What's that about? We don't know. Never happened. I understand the inmates are not known for being the most honest people. That's probably why they're in jail. But it's awful coincidental that an inmate would call or write me and say, I was called to the office relating to this letter that you wrote, and I have paper here, and in fact actually said, I'm being harassed, please don't do this anymore. And I I agreed to do that. I will back off while you're still in jail or prison. Okay. So that's more about what happened there, is that I wrote them a letter, they discarded the letter, I sent follow-ups after his release, and they've been sitting on my complaint for 3 years. They refuse to investigate. I have a funny feeling that they're trying to sit out the statute of limitations. I really hope they're not doing that, because it's probably getting on close to 3 years now. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if the statute of limitations hit from when they first investigate or from when it first happened. I don't know, but that's what I said, just so everybody knows, so the world knows. As much as Suwannee wants to lie about this and deny it and deny, I have proof. You got that letter. You deny it, you got the first time. You got the second time in July of 2014. I have proof. I have proof from you. I have written confirmation. Okay, we did receive this from you at July. but they refuse to investigate, they refuse to follow up. So I want the word to get out there. They've been sitting on this complaint, and this is not isolated. This isn't an oopsie. This isn't one person slipped through the cracks. I worked with other inmates there in the prison after that briefly. They all got transferred out, but I had basically the same stories. And again, this is beyond coincidental that a lot of inmates would say exactly the same thing, who don't know each other, aren't in contact with one another. But yeah, this is the quick follow-up, the brief follow-up. I wanted to make this under 5 or 6 minutes, so I'll close up here, and I wanted to not be nearly as preachy as I was in the first one. But please, get the word out, share out. Suwannee Correctional Institution. Suwannee's up, it's in a city called Live Oak. It's out between Tallahassee and Lake City. It's a real rural area. But that's where the prison is, and that's what they're doing, and they're lying, and they're not telling the truth, and they allow inmates' property to be stolen, and they want to investigate. And if you dare try to, as a civilian, follow up and advocate on their behalf, they'll harass the inmate. So, Suwannee, you're going to deny you ever received this video or the letter? I don't really care. The world knows. That's all that counts. Thank you. And thank you for listening this time. And if we can get the word out and they can stop it, thanks. Bye.